superbeads.com. Hello, I hope you're having a great day and a great start to your week. I wanted to do a small project. Well, I thought it was going to be a small project on weaving earrings. So, hello, Michelle. So I had made these earrings a few years ago and thought, oh, I'm going to remake them again for art beads. And so as I got started, I realized it's a little bit more of a complex project than I initially remembered it being. So I finished one earring to demonstrate what it looks like for y'all today. And we'll go through step by step on how to make it. And it will take a little bit longer than I initially remembered that it would. But that's fine because you can take time to make it and take as long as you want. So on artbeads.com, I can read your comments here on the bottom. If you're on Facebook and YouTube, I can't respond to them right away, but I'll visit you on those separate platforms and answer any questions that you might have. And also, we ask that you close out your shopping cart before the end of the show today if you're going to purchase anything. And also, there is, I think, a sale going on at Art Beads right now. That's a Black Friday sale. I think I'm supposed to bring that up, right, Michelle? They have a sale going on right now. And also they're offering $25 gift cards if you wanted to purchase one for the holidays and like put it in a stocking or as a gift for somebody for Christmas. Hi, how are you doing? So I'm going to show this earring. It is really pretty when it's finished. And also if it's too big, I was thinking you could use it as a pendant for necklace. So it does have options that you can do for either one. Pre-Black Friday sale, 75% off on selected items. Cool. All right, so if you go to artbeads.com, I'm sure that they will have a banner somewhere giving you the code and the information on the pre-Black Friday sale. So I'm sorry, I'm still trying to get over allergies, so I cough every once in a while. I apologize. So I did complete this earring. It took me about an hour and a half to finish the one earring. So I'm going to say if you want to do a pair of earrings, I'd shoot for probably 2.5 hours to complete them, depending on how fast you go. But it's a really pretty project. And also, when I got the beads off Art Beads, these are like 5x3. Here's a close-up of the earring. The tutorial that I did is, hi Mary, is for a 3x2. So this stone's a tiny bit bigger than the other one that I did. So if you do opt to go smaller for like a crystal or a stone and you want to use the 2x3, it will work just fine for a similar pattern. It will just be a tiny bit smaller. But I do have a tutorial for that. I can post it later. However, today I'm going to show you how to make this one here, and we will have fun stitching this beautiful earring. And I did try it on. It's not heavy, and it's really pretty. So I have the Rondelle faceted pre-night, and then I'm mixing SuperDuo beads with 11O seed beads and 15O seed beads. And Michelle, I did not get this on my product sheet. I'm sorry if you can add them because I just did this morning. But I topped it with an 8mm pre-night stone. So that way I have length right here to add the ear wire. So that way the earring kind of dangles as you're wearing it. When I made this this morning, I was thinking at first I could just put an ear wire on directly onto the hoop, but I think it's better if you have the added length for the earring to drop a little bit more. Thank you, I appreciate it. So what I'll need to change is to add like a 6mm jump ring and a an eye pin, head pin kind of a thing, a gold one, and then we're good. So anyways, I'm gonna flip my camera around so that way we can get started on how to make this, but here's a close-up of it. So I finished this one. Hi, Eric. Good morning. And here's a close-up of it. And it's really, really beautiful. Now, since this is time-consuming, I'm going to do an abbreviated version live with you today to teach you how to do it. But to do the whole thing, we would be here for about 3 hours. So here's a close-up of it. I think it's really pretty. And I'm going to flip the camera around and we'll get started. So, yay, let's have a good time. And flipping the camera around. Okay, so I gotta like move my camera down here. Yay. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. So I'm going to bring it up this way. So here's a close-up of it. Move my light around. Here we go. So it's really, I think it's really pretty. And it's, hello, Hazel. And hi, Tina. So here's a close-up of it. So I have one row of the prehnite stone. And the secondary row, I have SuperDuo beads and 11O seed beads. The third row, I'm bringing in the stones again. And hello, Marianne. And then I top it with 15O seed beads. So you do a couple different passes going around the metal hoop frame here. And then how I end it off is I use a 6mm jump ring with an 8mm prehnite stone, and I just wire wrap it with the loop at the top and add the ear wire. So this is what the finished product looks like. Let me flip around like this. So there you go. And you can use different colors as well. I saw the green and I just, in its duo beads, and I thought it would be really pretty. So if there's a different duo bead color that you like on art beads, they should, you can find a corresponding like fire polish or a crystal or a rondelle bead to match it, and then just go around with the SuperDuo beads, and then find a corresponding 11O seed bead, and then the 15O. But okay, so here's a close-up again, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm using a size 12 needle, and I'm using Wildfire by Beading. So I am using beige. I like beige. It kind of fits in with most colors. However, I do have another one posted here on the art beads tutorial for today. That's another color of Wildfire. And I'm using the 0.06 or the 0.15mm one. And then I'm also using this Nun Designs gold hoop. I've made these before in actual hoop earrings with the hoop that opens up, but for today I'll be using this guy. And you want to cut about probably a good 3 feet of thread, at least, probably 4. It's better to have extra than not enough, because you don't want to be halfway through the earring and then out of your Wildfire. You can add to it and stitch it within the earring and hide it, but sometimes it's just a little bit more complicated. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm just taking a little bit of an end here, and I'm going to knot it onto my hoop a few times and just make sure it's nice and secure before I start. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Michelle. Thank you. And so I do a couple knots. Now also, you can cut your thread with scissors, or, fabric scissors, or you can use a thread burner. I do have one. Here we go. I do have one as preference. Now, Wildfire also makes a cord cutter. It's like a burn threader. You heat it up and it will cut your threads really close down to the bottom, and it lights up. So you do want to be careful when you're using these. They do get really hot and you can get burned. So if you use one, you just want to be really careful when you're using it. But if you apply it to your thread, it will just like burn it right off and cut it. So it's a little bit more accurate than cutting, for example. So that's one tool that you can use if you want, just to demonstrate that really quick. Or you can use fabric scissors. So I have some Viscars I'll be using. I'm just going to trim this off. There we go. And get rid of that. Okay. So I'll be using the Brook stitch on this one. And the first thing that I'm doing is grabbing my needle here. You want to make sure that your thread is nice and straight. And I'm starting with a stone and then an 11O bead. For the 11O beads, I'm using these really pretty Toho beads, and they have a gold and translucent mix. They're gold lined frosted crystal is what they're called, and I think they're really pretty. Yeah, I like using my fabric scissors. I think it's a little bit easier. And then I'm going to grab an 11O bead and another stone to start off with. So to start off with, I have a stone, an 11O seed bead, and another stone. And then I'm going to come back around like this, just using like your regular bridge stitch. And I'm going to go through my hoop and back up through the stone and pull my thread through and make it nice and tight here on the hoop. So this is how I start with this one. And then my next grab here is just an 11-0 seed bead and 1 stone. So this is how you go around your hoop, and you repeat this for 30 stones. So you just go through your hoop with your needle, back up through the stone, and then each pass, just grab an 11-0 seed bead and another stone. And then pull your thread nice and tight so your stone sits flat on the hoop. And you will want to get 2 strands of beads. So I had put 1 down on my sheet as I was making the earrings. I realized you probably will want to have 2 strands of stones if you choose to do the two passes with stones here and here, because I have 30 here on the base, and I thought, oh, that's probably cutting it a little close. You might want to buy 2 strands. And it depends on how large you want your earrings. If you don't want to have that many beads, then you can just cut it in half and have a smaller earring as well, and then use less stones. It's totally up to you. For this one today, I'm just going to use a handful of stones. That way we aren't here for 4 hours, because doing that one earring was about 2. So you just keep repeating this step of grabbing your 11-0 seed bead and your stone, bringing your needle through the center of the hoop, back up through the bottom of your stone like so, and then pulling tight on the thread. And then each time, oh yeah, I did this with a pair of hoops before, and then I used a smaller rondelle. I used a 3x2 here and used an actual hoop earring. I have a YouTube tutorial on it and with pink, and they came out really pretty. It's a slightly different version of this one, but it came out really pretty. So again, you just go through your hoop and bring your thread up through the bottom of the stone like so, and then pull it tight onto the hoop. So I hope that everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday and that you're having a great day and you're having a good start to your week. My week's going okay so far. I leave town on Thursday and my birthday is coming Friday. And honestly, I'm just hoping I can kick these allergies down a little bit so I can go on an airplane. Yay. And also, as you're working, since I do encourage you to have more thread, as you're working with it, you just want to try to not get it tangled, because sometimes it will knot further up where you're working, and you don't want to have to cut your thread and have to start over again. So I just do like 1 bead at a time, and then just make sure to pull it all the way through gently, and try not to get it tangled as I'm working with it. And again, you just go through the hoop, back up through the bottom of your stone without going through your previous string here. Like so. Pull it nice and tight along your frame, and then pick up an 11-0. So you just kind of repeat this pattern for a while until you filled the amount that you want on your hoop. Oh, thanks, Michelle. It's wonderful. That's so glad. I'm so glad to hear that. And bring it up through here. Okay, so I have like half my hoop done. I think I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to go back the other way. Demonstrate that. So again, I'm just going to have 11-0 bead and my stone, pull it through, bring it down to the hoop, and then go through my hoop and back up through the bottom of the stone. Oh, happy late birthday, Beverly. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end here. And the next stop that I want to do is next I'm going to add my SuperDuos. And yeah, I have that guy there. So then what I do, since I went back through here, is I'm going to grab a handful of duo beads here, like so. And that's what I did. And I separate them in between the previous 11 O's. So I'm going to go back up through this 11 O like so. Bring my thread up through and grab one duo bead and then go back through the next 11 O. And the duo beads sit right in between these guys like this. They sit really, really nicely. So you just want to grab a duo bead and again, go back through your 11 O like so. And pull your thread tight each time. That way everything stays nice and taut as you're working with it and everything stays in place. Oh, thank you, Beverly, appreciate it. So again, here's a close-up. You just want to go through each 11 O, grab a duo bead, go back through your 11 O, pull your thread, and it will just sandwich right in between there. And you just work your way around until you've filled in between all of your 11 O beads, like so. And it's really pretty at the outcome. So it is a little time consuming, but it's worth it. I think it's really pretty at the end. And I do have this typed out. So if you guys would like me to, I can post directions. Art Beads does have a Facebook group where beaders can share what they're making or share what they've made from tutorials or ask questions. I can post the directions on there as well so you can read them later. Okay, so I've added all of my duo beads in between. Oh, that's so good to know, Michelle, right on. So I've added all my SuperDuo beads in between my 11 O's. And now I'm going to double back again. And I'm going to go back through the top. So I'm going to add another 11 O bead here. And I'm going to go back through the top duo bead, like so. And I'm going to bring stones back in. So now I'm going to add a stone in between each of the duo beads. So I'm going to go grab a stone and go in between the duo bead like so. Bring my thread through, and now you're just going to add a stone in between each duo bead. And I really like how everything kind of sandwiches in between each other and they match really, really well. So, and I just love the colors. I don't know, I picked the green and thought, the prehnite matches the duo bead perfectly. And then with the little hint of gold from the Toho beads and the frame. Oh, is there not a hole in this guy? You know, sometimes you can pick up a duo bead and it's not drilled through all the way. Shoot. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, side note, you want to double check your duo beads to make sure that the holes have been drilled through before you use them. I forgot about that. Sometimes they aren't drilled very well. Okay. There we go. So again, just want to pick up a stone and go in between each duo bead with your thread. Pull it through nice and tight. And so yeah, if you don't want to do the whole earring too, this is really pretty with just a half hoop. Honestly, the one I'm doing at the bottom, they both work really well. So you could figure out how big you want it. Okay. And I'm guessing, this will take at least an hour to an hour and a half per earring, depending on how big you want to make it, at least potentially. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm almost done with my stones. We're actually making really good time today. I'm surprised. That's good. Yay. So you just, again, you want to tuck a stone in between each of the SuperDuos like so. And then the next pass is we add the 12 O seed beads to the top. Here we go. Okay, so you want to again make sure to pull your thread nice and tight so everything stays in place. So here's a close-up of what we're doing. And again, you have your duo beads, your 11-0 seed beads, and your pre-night beads. They're all kind of stacked in there. And I'm trying to remember how I did this. Okay, so I think I went through like this with the 11-0. Okay, so I'm going to add 11-0 here on the end like this. And I'm going to go back up through my duo bead, and I'm going to come back around my pre-night bead here with the 12-0s. So I'm going to use some of these tiny 12-0s. I'm going to use 4 of them. So I'm going to pick up 4 with your needle like so. And you're going to go from the duo bead over the stone and through the next duo bead with your needle like this. So I want to bring these 12-0 beads over my stone, and it's going to form kind of like a blossom shape. I'm going to kind of move those around a little bit and pull this down. So you have that as a close-up. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Marianne, is if you wanted to, you could turn this into a pendant for a necklace. You don't have to use the whole thing as an earring, or you can just do the half as earring. This is also really pretty. And you can just add an ear wire at the top. And then, so again, you just want to pick up 4 more of your 15-0 seed beads. And these are tiny. So, it's okay if you drop them. I drop them a lot. Okay, so I'm going to go back through the next duo bead again with my needle, and then pull down my thread nice and tight and bring the blossom again. You want that cute little blossom look over the stone. And sometimes it moves, that's okay. Sometimes they line up nice and straight so you have this pattern. Sometimes, you know, they kind of bend to the back, but oh, I'm so glad you like it. So yeah, there's a close-up of this one. And again, you just keep picking up some of the little guys. Here we go. And do 4. And you could do 5 too. I experimented with 5 earlier. I thought 5 also looked pretty. And it went over the stone really well as well. So you can, you know, mix and match a little bit however you feel comfortable. Let's go through here. And again, pull your thread tight, and then you can kind of move the beads around as you're doing that so they stay in place too. So here you go. I like it. I think it's so much fun. Yeah, the silver is pretty too. I did these before with labradorite. So you can use labradorite stone, and I used the silver SuperDuo bead, and then I mixed silver seed beads with it. And I've done pink tourmaline before with the pink duo bead. So there's a lot of combinations that you can do for this pattern with different stones and duo beads. The nice thing is there's a large assortment of duo bead colors. On artbeads.com, they have a lot that you can choose from, and you can mix these with crystals. You know, you don't have to use stones. You can use different kinds of crystals or fire polish. And I'm going to go back through the stone, through my duo bead again. And sometimes you have to kind of move stuff around and make sure you can get your needle to go through there, through your duo bead, because they kind of get cinched up together a little bit in the space. So you sometimes have to kind of separate them out a little bit so you can reach and get into that duo bead with your needle. Like so. Yeah, absolutely. You could definitely use this as a pendant, or you can make a pendant and earrings. You can make an entire matching jewelry set. I'm sure there's some way you could turn this into a bracelet, you know, do like a SuperDuo pattern for a bracelet, and then mix the green in together, and then have a necklace, bracelet, and earrings. All right, so I'm going to do this again. It's like, here's another close-up as I'm working with it. I just think it's so pretty. It's great too, you know, for green. You could do different colors, like Christmas colors. They have red duo beads. So you could mix a red stone or a red crystal with it and have like a Christmas theme. I thought this color was pretty too, because it can be for the spring or for Christmas, or, you know, I guess any time of the year really. And again, I'll get this pattern out. I do have another version of this available too with smaller stones. Let me get that there. So yeah, sometimes you have to like kind of work your needle in to get through that duo bead as you go around and use up more space. And then use your hands. You can also use your fingers to kind of like gently separate everything to have them lay flat and go across a little bit better. And again, I'm just going to pick up 4 more. And these guys like to jump out of your hands because they're teeny tiny. And I'm going to go back through my duo bead here. So look, wow, this is crazy. It's a record. Maybe I just warmed myself up because that other earring took me like over an hour and this has been like 20 minutes. It's great. So don't listen to me. You could probably make a pair of earrings in 1 hour instead. Okay, there we go. And there we go. All right, I just have to do one more. And then we're finished. Hey. Yeah, if you're doing the smaller earring too, you won't need to cut as much fire line either. For the larger one, I think I gave myself 3 feet. But this one I probably have 2 feet. And that's okay. I like to have extra, not enough. That way, if I have an issue, I know I'm not going to run out of thread halfway through my project. Okay, so I've completed all of my seed beads here on the top. So I have my blossoms over everything. So now we're going to tie off our cording. So what I do is I like to hide it. So I'm going to like go back through the previous beads here and get back to my hoop. So I'm going to go through my Levino and my first stone I put on there and bring my thread through, and I'm going to tie it back onto my hoop here. So kind of like bring it through and kind of do a knot here a little bit. And if you're a seed beater, I'm sure there are lots of different techniques you can use to tie a knot and kind of hide it. I try to hide my knot underneath what I'm doing so you can't see where it's at and it doesn't look as bad. And also, some people use glue, some people don't. If I use glue on my thread, I like to use hypo cement because there's a really tiny tip and it can get in there easier and it dries fairly quickly. So if I use glue for a knot, I use the hypo cement. Again, some people don't glue, some people do. For me, I just go through a few times and knot and just make sure that it's nice and tight before I cut my thread. So just kind of pull that through like so. And I don't think that is going anywhere. And again, for me, I use my fabric scissors, but they also have the Wildfire cord cutter as well. All right, so here is the finished earring if you do a half earring. So for this one, all you need to do is you can just use the ear wire and put it on the top. If you do the more advanced, if you do the larger earring, I definitely would suggest adding the extra dangle to the top. That way you have room for the earring to hang. Okay, so here's the half one. And again, sometimes you have to like use your hands here to kind of move everything back into space. But here's like a half earring. And then here is the whole earring. Yeah, you know, myself, I kind of like the half too. I think it's more simple and it's more pretty. However, this one, you know, if you want more of a like holiday party bling, I think this one's really pretty as well. So it just probably depends on what you're going for look-wise. But here's one, and then here's the smaller one. But you can use these items to build both. And there's enough where you could make probably a few pairs of earrings. Now, if you do buy 2 strands, there's enough of the duo beads where you can get multiple pairs of earrings with just one container. So you could easily make 4 pair of earrings out of one of these, for sure. And then same with the Toho beads. There's a lot of Toho beads. You definitely get beads for your buck. And so you can make multiple projects out of them, which is fantastic. So, and same with the Wildfire. You can get many, many projects out of this as well. That's what I was thinking too. This would be really pretty for the summer. If you wanted to go outside, you know, go into the sunshine, it's definitely pretty. So again, here's a close-up of the smaller one, like so. And then here is the larger one. And the larger one is just a little bit different with the stone at the top. But it gives you 2 different styles to choose from. I think it's really, really pretty. I don't think they have an option for a smaller pre-night strand. But here these are. And if you want, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at any time and let me know. I'm more than happy to go over it with you again and demonstrate it. I do have a video tutorial on how to do a different version of this using similar beads. And also I will print the directions and post them on the Facebook group. I'll take a photo of these today and I'll post them on the Art Beads Facebook group. That way there's the directions and the photo. So when you want to copy these, you have everything you need to do that. And also you can watch this on artbeads.com again and then pause it and then get your step-by-step instructions from live as well. And if you do have any questions, you can always email the Art Beads team for the email list for if you're missing something that's maybe sold out or if you just have any general questions. And then also we are doing the pre-Black Friday sale right now too, so you definitely want to check that out. So and here's a close-up of those. And I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when you put them in. So let me move the camera around really quick so we can, yay. All right, let me move this guy out of the way. Okay, I'm going to put them on so you guys can see what they look like on. Okay, so here is the smaller one. Can you kind of get an idea? Here's that. So see, it's not too big at all. It's a nice hoop, looks good. I think it's a good size. So there's that one. And then here's the bigger one. Again, it's not heavy either. It's just big. And then here's here's the bigger one. It's definitely a bit more bling. Woo! For me, I think I like the smaller one too. And here's that. Yay, that is so great. So if you are ordering today, you do want to close out your order before the end of the show. That way you get everything before it's gone. Yay. And I will post directions too. That way if you like to have them written down, you can check out the written directions too. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out anytime. I'm online. Just be like, hey, I really like this. Can you remind me of this step again? So I'm here for no problem. So again, here's a close-up of these guys. Yay, small one and the big one. Yay. I hope you guys had fun joining me today. It was great to kind of mix it up from wire wrapping and to do like a Wildfire stitching seed bead project today with thread. And thank you so much for joining us today here at artbeads.com. We love to have you here. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. It will be pre-recorded, but I will be here. And then the rest of the team looks forward to seeing you tomorrow here at artbeads.com as well. And have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. And thank you so much. Bye, everybody.